This is Cardano on the daily chart. Going to talk about, in this video, we're going to talk about all targets. We're going to talk about upside and downside targets, but specifically the continuation of ADA on this daily chart. That is to say, continuation to the upside. I want to explore that right now. And this isn't a guarantee that it's going to happen, but right now on this chart, there are a lot of things lining up that suggest that it is very much strongly in play. So let's dive into this video. Let's start discussing all of these different moving parts in terms of ADA. And please hit that like button on the way in. Your support means a lot. So this is Solana. I covered this in a video the other day, last week sometime, and you can just see on this daily chart, Solana made its way from the swing high to that big capitulation, made its way back into this green channel, this Fibonacci retracement. Now, I'm rooting for Solana right now because we discussed in a previous video this move from the swing low into the green Fibonacci retracement. We discussed Solana acting as kind of a leading indicator for Cardano on this chart. And since we talked about that, ADA has made some progress. And I want to continue exploring ADA, not even approaching this area, but actually breaking to the upside. And then we're also going to talk about targets to the upside and downside in this video. To lay some context, as I usually like to do, is just kind of, let's look at a quick clip from 3 days ago. If it can break through that area, that would be the bullish, the real bullish confirmation that we're waiting for, because that's a ton of resistance at this entire channel. The 786 is up here around 35 cents, and the 618 right around 32 cents. You have the 200-day move. So we're at this moment, we're evaluating the Solana as a leading indicator, but we're also evaluating kind of that lower high resistance area, ADA at around 28 cents at the time. And you can see ADA has slowly moved up. And that's the biggest thing I just want to highlight. And really, I want to talk about before we start talking about targets. When I look at this daily chart, I'm seeing a lot of similarities in terms of what ADA is doing right now. So to illustrate that, I actually want to go to, let's actually take a look at the 6 hour, even on the very zoomed in. This price action that we're seeing here, right here, is something not just in ADA, but just in crypto, we often see before a breakout. That is not to suggest that it's going to happen. This is just me giving you my thoughts in terms of the things that I've noticed over the years tracking charts. And I'm just going to go back and I'm going to go look at ADA coming out of the bear market low all the way back here in December 2022. And I just want to show you why I say this, because this is a move we see very often in crypto. It's just this upward momentum of price. It's higher highs and higher lows in general. And it doesn't always look the same, but it's just that look of the chart. And the reason why it's compelling, and we see those moves all the time, but the reason why it's in particularly compelling right now is when we go to something like the weekly chart and we look at what is happening. So we discussed this in a previous video. That is to say, we have this higher low on ADA, on the RSI, from this swing low back here. And this swing low back here was actually, that ultimate bear market low as of now, right? And you can just see ADA was oversold. Right now we're putting in a higher low after ADA actually wicked below this price low in December. So this is bullish divergence on the weekly. So we have this scenario, and obviously ADA got this oversold in general because of the SEC and all that news that broke out. A lot of the other charts in crypto, including Bitcoin and others, they don't look like this in terms of ADA, right? ADA has to make up all of this ground. And so we're looking at things like Solana that is also trying to make up that ground. And I'm looking at those things as leading indicators. But then we bring into play the tools that we have and all the things that we're tracking in terms of ADA. So we looked at the bullish divergence on that weekly chart. Now here we are in the daily chart. Something else just to make note of is the very fact that ADA is, thankfully, back above the 20-day moving average. So not only did we pull into it, what we didn't want to happen was a scenario where we're getting rejected for another low, right? This is a good illustration of that is back here. It pulls into the 20 and then we're going lower, right? That's always that first barrier to get over. So ADA capitulated, pulled into the 20-day moving average, and actually started trending above it, and now we're putting in a higher low. So it wasn't this massive rejection down. That was a first thing. ADA has overcome that. Now we're above it. We have a little bit of a separation. Notice the 20-day moving average is right around 28 cents. So even when I was doing this video back here, ADA was kind of just testing and just grappling with that 20-day moving average in green, that green line. Thankfully, ADA has some separation from there. Will it hold? That's the general question in the short term. So if ADA is to fall, will there be support in this region down to 28 cents? Now, besides that, if we zoom out once again on the daily, and then we're going to look at these short-term targets in just a minute. If we zoom out and we go to the momentum oscillators for ADA right here, namely the RSI, so the slower moving momentum oscillator, you can just see off of that SEC news, everything that happened, ADA got massively oversold, like the most oversold that it's been. The last time it was this oversold was COVID. It was one of those events. Bounced out of it. And right now, if you just actually take note of this bear market low back here, again, it was very oversold back there. You can just see it falling into oversold. If you look at where ADA is right now compared to there, you can see ADA then breaking above the 20-day moving average. And you can even just see when it was doing that, this RSI at a very similar area, right? So in terms of momentum, ADA is making a very similar move to the bear market low that we've had so far in crypto right around December, end of 2022. And we're above the 20-day moving average. And now, as we kind of evaluate, well, is ADA going to make this power move towards the Fibonacci, this area, which is 35 cents down to 32 cents, or break it? As we're trying to evaluate that, it's kind of like, all right, that's where I think for me, it becomes useful to just zoom in. Let's look at the structure. Let's look at what's going on. And this is what a 6-hour chart looks like. Unfortunately, as I do this video, we're just in the middle, right? We're not even testing the lower trend line of this channel that's in formation. It's a rising channel, a lower trend line, an upper trend line. And we have a target to the upside around 38 cents, target to the downside around 22 cents, testing this wick all the way back here. So that's the volatility that's in play. But I just kind of noted a lot of different indicators and signals potentially on the ADA charts that are suggesting ADA does have some upward momentum. I'm going to continue keeping an eye on other altcoins like Solana to see if they're making some kind of move, right? If Solana starts breaking out of this channel in particular, I'm going to have confidence beginning to grow even more that ADA is going to approach this upper trend line. Notice where that is. It's around 32 cents. If not break through this channel to the upside. And notice what is there around 32 cents. It is the 618 line of this Fibonacci resistance. It is this blue line, the 50-day moving average. It's the next big hurdle for ADA. A move to this area, it not only makes sense because it's that next target, it's not even the bullish confirmation, a move to that area. And just to give you an idea, we're looking at a price range of around 8 to 9% to the upside, just to test that lower end of resistance. And then to test the upper end of resistance, you notice the 200-day moving average is confluent with this 786 up there. That's a 18% move. ADA has a lot of work to do. And so it kind of really does start here on this 6-hour chart where we're watching this upward momentum of ADA just kind of pushing higher. Will it fail? And will we fall back to the downside testing this lower trend line? That's around 26, 27 cents down here. It's very much in play. I can't sit here and tell you that's a 10% move to the downside. That's the support I'd be looking for. It would be kind of a similar move to kind of falling this time around, right? We're looking for ADA to break this upper trend line. It fails, it falls. I can't sit here and tell anybody what's going to happen because I myself have no idea. Nobody in this world knows the next move for any cryptocurrency. Nobody. That's not how the markets work. I like to sit here. I like to visualize all these scenarios. And I do get my own little inclinations or my own little suspicions when I read these charts. And oftentimes, I'll allude to my thoughts of what I think might happen next. But I won't sit here and predict because I just don't know, right? I like to prepare for all these scenarios, and that's why we do these things. But I will say, especially as we trade kind of within the middle of this channel, it gets a little bit tougher to actually evaluate the next move. It gets a little bit easier when we're starting to see like a nice wick of support at a lower trend line. I mean, the consistencies on higher lows in crypto, you just go and you just set up all of these patterns across the board. The consistencies are amazing in all of these consolidations. Gets tough though when you're in the middle. But I know what's up. I know what what the targets are to the upside. The shorter term target is 32 cents, right? And what did we say? That's around a 9-10% move or so, 32 cents. And target, yeah, around an 8 to 9% move. And then target to the downside to test support, same thing, around 8 to 9%. The question is, if it gets to one of those areas, are we seeing the support to the downside? And are we seeing resistance here? Because what I'm really keeping an eye on right now for ADA is if we get a continued move to the upside, breaking through this channel would be just such a big, important move for ADA as it relates to the weekly charts. And we haven't even talked about this, that 20-week moving average, 35 cents, the 50-week moving average around 38 cents. And I know I talk about those areas a lot, so I didn't want to spend too much time on there. I wanted to just kind of track the consolidation of ADA on the short term. And this is what it looks like. So we'll continue monitoring, but all I can say is, everybody, I'm just tracking the charts. I'm tracking ADA through this journey, right? This is a 6 hour. There's so much volatility. You go to the weekly, it's the same thing. I'm continuously revisiting my thesis, my reason for being a Cardano value investor. And I'm continually, especially as I watch the ecosystem grow, I'm continually just reminded of the value that is being built fundamentally. And I'm also reminded when I look at these charts that where ADA is right now, looking ugly on the charts, I get it. There's all the negative comments in relation to Cardano. I continuously remind myself, we have been here before. We really have. That's ADA. Welcome to ADA. It is what it is. But then all of a sudden, it will happen. I can't say that for a fact, but I confidently think that. And it's going to be very fun to find out if I will be right or wrong. I could be wrong. I know that. But it's going to be fun to track this. I can tell you that much. Those are my thoughts on Cardano, everybody. Wanted to give you an update. I hope you're doing well. Please hit the subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, make sure to turn the notifications on, get notified of my videos when I post them, especially as I've been bringing into play crypto news, breaking crypto news as it's happening. There's so much happening right now in crypto. So your support is just, it means so much to me. Have an awesome night. I will see you in the next video. God bless.